What is up, guys? Random Ginger here. And today what I've got for you is a little something that I discovered while messing around in creative mode, trying to find ways that people can get early in-game or early game energy, low cost, but that's self-sustaining, so it can be used easily, and you don't have to go keep on gathering resources. It'll just keep on sustaining itself and producing excess power. And this is something I came up with. It also works in this smaller version over here. You don't hear the cobblestone because I have sound turned off, but because of the slimes and because of the cobblestone generators. But what this is, I don't have it running right now because this is the timer that it runs on and it's not connected. But these are block breakers right here, and they are right above cobblestone generator. 8 cobblestone generators to be exact. They're very simple, just lava, and then a space, then a hole dug into the ground, and then water. And these block breakers will break the cobble every 2.25 seconds. That's the interval that I found to be the best for this. And then they'll send it through these pneumatic tubes into these recyclers. The recyclers will then turn it into scrap. And there's I think a 1 in 10 chance of turning anything into scrap once you put it through a recycler. So that has a chance, and then it'll get pumped out of those. A bubble in my throat there. It'll get pumped out of those and into these generators, which will then get power from it, burn it to get power, and then some of that power, half of it, will go to the recyclers again to help them keep on making more scrap, and part of it will go to the storage. Now I just have a MFSU just because, so that I could run for a while. In game, you're obviously not gonna have, or early game, you're obviously not gonna have an MFSU to start out with, probably a bad box, but it'll work the same either way. I can show you that. And like I say, over here it'll work just as well. I just wanted to show you the bigger version because it's better. I don't know. I like it better. So what you need to do first to start it off, you need to prime it with coal. So I'll just pop a couple coal into each of these. One would probably do the trick, but I'll just put 2 in just because. And then you go over here, place that redstone there. Not redstone, but red Delaware. And as you can see, it will start to produce some cobble. And that is actually, oh no, that's not going way too fast, is it? And an important thing with these recyclers, when you have 8 block breakers or 8 cobblestone generators and 2 recyclers, if you put 4 overclocker upgrades in here and set this timer to 2.25 seconds, it will be basically perfectly timed out. It's a little bit off, but it'll be basically perfect. So as you can see, these are kind of running out of power here, but then we'll get some scrap to be burned in there, and that'll give it some more power, and it'll keep on going. It's built up a little bit there. It's not perfect. It'll work. It'll always work better if you put more coal in there to start out with. But it will be self-sustaining. I have tested this, and the results I got from it, I let it run for about 2 hours, and it ended up creating about 200 to 250,000 EU, because I had that MFSU hooked up to it. So that is pretty good for 2 hours. I didn't compare it to any solar panels or geothermal generators or anything like that. But for early game power, I'd say that's pretty dang good. And as you can see, it stopped here. So it's not perfect, you guys, but it does work very well for what it needs to do. And you can always pop a coal or 2 in there, and it'll get it going again. But once it does get going, once it gets into a rhythm, it doesn't really ever stop. It'll keep on going basically forever. Again, there's always, since this isn't a 100% chance of making scrap, it's only 10%, there's always going to be some error involved there. There's always going to be a little bit of unsurety. But it's a very good early game power source. If you don't want to do the normal route of maybe solar panels, which I think solar panels, I know with Greg Tech, they might not be early game, but you know, sometimes it's fun to do some energy sources that aren't quite typical. So this is a good way to do that. I'm going to be trying to come up in my future videos with some other alternate power sources like this. I think it's fun to do, try and figure out what ways you can do things that aren't exactly normal, but work well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys will be able to use it in your worlds. If you have any things to add to it, any ways to improve it, for sure let me know. I'd love to hear them. If you do a video on it, just submit it as a video response. I'd love to see it. I always love when you guys send me video responses. It's always great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. And until next time, everybody, just have a great day.